I'm still a kid, but I'm not this kid. I don't know if the lighting will do it justice. Like, as time passes more and more, and as I reflect on decisions, and as I'm able to even look back, I'm like, I'm still a kid, but I'm not this kid. I think life is going to be so interesting in these next couple of years. Um, I planned out most of my life, which is not actually most of my life. I planned out most of my life from ages, I say 12 to like 21 to like 30ish. I planned out the whole med school journey, life during, life after, not life after, technically, life all the way to that point. So I really didn't think the life started until I became a doctor. Kind of crazy. Genuinely insane whenever I speak it out loud now. But I'm definitely still a kid, but I'm not broke. I think that as we're becoming, as we're going through the journey called life, we're constantly growing and our understanding changes. Like, I could only imagine what it would be like if I just stayed in Nigeria my whole life. I don't even know if I'd be a different Mitchell. As we grow, life is in chapters, life is in stages. Like, there's jokes you find funny growing up that you won't find funny today. There's food I like growing up, but I won't. I mean, I still eat it because, I'm still a kid. But, yeah, people talk about as you become an adult, it becomes so hard to unlearn certain things because you've done it for so long. Then, then as you become an adult, you're unlearning the stuff a kid does. My dad, or some wise guy, probably my dad, probably told me this about, like, as a man, when you're a man, and probably the Bible also says something similar. When you're a man, you don't do the stuff kids do. Kids do what kids do, men do what kids do, and what men do because they have responsibility. But being a kid, you can't always do that. Like, as a kid, I used to hide underneath not hide. When it's time to go to bed, I'll just stay up all night reading books, reading real books, reading mangas, reading light novels, just reading stories or watching YouTube videos of just people talking about their lives. If you have work the next day, that is not feasible. I worked at LA Fitness last year, and I have work at 5 a.m. Sometimes I'll stay up. I mean, I have to get to work at like 4 something, right? So you have work at X amount of time, you have to wake up and you have to get to work like, a little bit beforehand, at least I did. And that's a real job, but that's not even a real job. So how you think and how you do stuff different, changes. That's part of becoming, and the hard part, not the hard part, a part of that is just accepting that. Like, we cling on to the past so much, but the past does not cling on to you. Time is constant, time pauses for nobody. It just snowed here in Texas and whatnot. Ice snowed. My friends in Canada would say this is not real snow. My friends, in the real cold weather would be like, yeah, it's not real. But it's melting right now. Life goes in stages. I'm literally telling you, I don't even know how old I am in this photo, dog. My head probably the same. You see that forehead? Hairline probably still similar. But how I think and how I view the world is a little bit different. Even from the age 18 to 19, actually, 18, 19-ish, I said I think a lot the same. Maybe a couple months into 19 years old, my thoughts and mindset changed about certain things. Then, month, then the summer of being 19, a couple months before I turned 20, my thoughts changed even more. Or my perspective grew, my perception grew, my understanding. I got a deeper wealth of understanding from other people. Yeah, we're gonna grow, we're gonna change, and that's what time does. Like, I can find photos of how I used to dress as a kid, but outward appearance does nothing to the inward appearance. Who we're becoming is insane. Dog, like, high school is a real place, but it's not a real place. College is a real place, but it's not a real place. Even the idea of the real world, like when you get to the real world, that's bull. Because we're always in the real world. It's just how you think about stuff. Like high school, okay, for example, middle school, your grades don't matter. Actually, elementary school to middle school, your grades don't matter. But high school, your grades matter because you know transcript and SAT. That's how you get into college and whatnot. Then college, your grades matter, but they don't matter because you know after you get a job and you work there for a year or two, nobody's looking at, oh, what does your transcript say from back then. They look at your reps, they look at your consistency, they look at your value and the roles that you did in the past. Then you do that, nobody cares. But people care about the value you bring. That's like the determinant no matter what. No matter what happens over time, people just care about the value that you bring. But yeah, dog, we're growing, we're changing, we're becoming, and that's just life. And I think for some people, like, they try to cling on to this. They try to cling on to the old version of themselves, but it's not possible. It's like people trying to fit into their clothes from middle school or high school. Like, dog, your tummy gonna get bigger. You're not gonna be the same person. So why even try to? Why do we desperate? Why do we desperately cling on to this past idea of ourselves? It's like not wanting. It's like not wanting things to change, but change is life. Change is also another hard topic because I think change is just accepting it for yourself and wanting to become and doing what's needed to become. Change actually is probably really, really, really hard because even if time happens and stuff, doesn't mean you have to change. Like, let's say you're born in the 90s, you could, or the 60s, you could still be wearing jerk from the 90s. Let's say you're born in the 70s, you could still be wearing jerk from the 90s today. You don't actually have to change. You actually never have to change. But then there's certain mindsets that are really, really hard to change and hard to unlearn. Like, the biggest thing that comes to my mind when I think about these things is the things that used to protect you at one level become weapons at the next level. For example, that hunger, that desire, that hard work ethic, hard work ethic is never bad. But once you get to a level where that doesn't satisfy you anymore, it's useless. When you talk to older people, or if you talk to older people or whatever, they're gonna tell you about their journey and whatnot, and they have this commonality of like I hustled, all these different things. But they're at a stage where if that hustling is low-key meaningless, it's like I don't have to try to survive anymore. Talk to some millionaires and whatnot, dog. They're like, bro, I really don't have to try to survive anymore. I'm in a state where I'm pretty comfortable with how much I make and whatnot. But then it's like finding satisfaction and that joy in something else, which is really hard. So like with time, things that serve you in one age doesn't serve you in the next. As a kid, before you were potty trained, you used to be wear a diaper. You used to poop on yourself. You used to pee on yourself. That served you then, because as a baby in your mother's womb, you just got flushed through her system. But as you get older, that's not gonna serve you. Aging is hard, but it's part of becoming, and it's needed to become truly. Even relationships are hard because relationships at one level are not going to be the relationships at another level. In Nigeria, my parents texted me about a friend of mine when I was 2 years old. I'm 21. I haven't been to Nigeria in 14 years. I don't know, bro. Friendships not come in stages. It's relational because it matters to how you deal with it or whatnot. But you're not gonna keep every friend from every time. You're not even actually gonna know everybody. Like, you're gonna have experiences with people, and that might just be then. I'm the type of I try to keep this mindset of I want to enjoy these moments deeply, and I want to make sure this time that we have, I hold it for what it is, because I know we're not gonna have this time tomorrow, and that's actually pretty helpful in a lot of things. I need to be more present because sometimes I say this, but I'm not even living it. I've said it so much that I've normalized the idea, but it hasn't even lived it. Growing up is hard. Time is constant. It's part of our becoming, but yeah, it's beautiful though. And as we go through life, we go through different stages, and I just love seeing how different we are in these different stages. Because I don't expect to be the same person you were at 20 years old or 40 years old. I actually hope not. I actually hope that you don't have the same mindset as you did at 15. That's scary. Unless, depending on what it is, of course. If it's character wise and good, it's good. But depending on some things, yeah,